All right, in piecewise graphs, I want to, one of the techniques we talked about was set up a table and label where it switches. So if it's less than 0, it's going to be defined by absolute value of x plus 3. And if it's greater than 0, it's going to look like x plus 2. Well, what's happening at 0? Both of those parts have an ordered pair there. It might be an open or closed circle. And then I want to pick a couple of numbers before and a couple numbers after, just so I can get an idea what the pattern is. Okay, so in the bottom equation, the absolute value of negative 2 would be negative 2 plus 3, which is 1. So we get a 1 there. This would be 2, and that would be 3. And then down here I get 0, 2, 0, 3, and 2, 4. Okay, and with the symbol, this one right there, the 0, 3 is actually open. Okay, so then I just want to plot points. So negative 2, 1 is right there. Negative 1, 2 is there. 0, 3 is there. There's actually a little bit more going on there, so we probably should remind ourselves of some absolute value stuff, but let me get the other points. So 0, 2 is there. 1, 3 is there. 2, 4 is there. So that piece is going to go off that way. If you remember its absolute value, it does look like a V. So if I go to negative 3, it's going to do that. Let's do negative 3, 0. It's going to give me that ordered pair. And if I go back to negative 4, I actually get 1 again. Okay, so I wanted to make sure we covered that. So that's what that graph looks like. Okay, moving over to the next one. Okay, same trick. Let's make an ordered table. Negative 2 seems to be where it's exciting. That's where it transitions. So the top's going to look like square root of x minus 3. And I just realized something when I wrote this question. Let's see if you catch on to this as well. The problem with the square root is it's undefined. So we're gonna change this. Let's switch. Oh goodness, how can we do this? We're gonna put that as a negative x. Okay, if I put that as a negative x, then this picture is gonna exist. Otherwise, this is awkward. So I will make sure on the actual final that problem is not there. But that was a goof on my part when I was just typing this up. Okay, anyways, back to this question now. Let's see, so I need some numbers before negative 1. Sorry, negative, wow, which direction am I going? Negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. We'll get a couple in there. Negative 1, 0, 1, 2. We'll put that in there. Okay, so what's happening at 2? And in this case, we might not be able to do this in our heads. Might have to write it out. So we have the square root of negative 2 minus 3. That would be the square root of negative 2, so that's actually still negative 1. So that's an I. So that part doesn't exist, but it'll exist at this next part. So negative 3 minus 3 gives us 3 minus 3, which is 0. Let's see, negative 4 minus 3 is 4 minus 3, which is 1. That's good. That's good. So start. Oh, good. We get to put an awkward one in there. Negative 5 minus 3 is the square root of 5 minus 3, which is the square root of 2. Okay, so that's not a pretty number, but we'll hopefully get an idea what this thing is doing. The squared part, if I have negative 2 plus 4 squared, I get 2 squared, which is 4. This is negative 1 plus 4 squared. So 3 squared, which is 9. 0 plus 4 squared, which is 4 squared, which is 16. 1 plus 4 squared is 5 squared, so that's 25. Okay, so we're going to get some pretty big numbers and might not be able to see all this. Now, normally with piecewise, we have that open versus closed debate. The top one is open because of the symbol, but it's also an imaginary number there, so and it actually doesn't exist up until negative 3, but that's okay. There'll be a strange gap in our picture. Okay, so at negative 3, I get 0. 1, 2, 3, I get 0. Negative 4, I'm at 1. And it's going to look like a square root graph. So look about like that. All right, then the other side. So at negative 2, I'm at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at negative 1, I'm at 9. So I'm starting to get off the graph. So it's going to look very quadratic on that piece. So not a lot to this graph. It's kind of a weird one, but that's okay. All right, number 10, we're doing f of g of x. So I'm going to start by figuring out which one's the outer. In this case, that's based on where the letter is in the symbol, and since f is on the outside, by the way, it should be parentheses around that on both of those. Sorry about that. So since f is on the outside, then I'm going to insert g inside f. So I'm just going to leave some blanks. And then I'm going to insert g in the blanks. The whole thing. All right, so we got some squaring to do here. All right, so we have to write this out a little bit. X squared minus x plus 2 times x squared minus x plus 2. I want to FOIL that out. So that's going to be x to the 4th. Let's see, minus x cubed plus 2x squared. And then we'll do the same thing with the x. So negative x times x squared is negative x cubed plus x squared and minus 2x. And then we'll go back and get the 2. So that would be 2x squared minus x plus 4. And so that's x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x plus 4. But that's just the squared piece. Then I have the rest of that I'm just going to drop down. So plus 3x squared minus 3x plus 6 minus 1. Let's look for some like terms. So x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 8x squared minus 6x plus 10 minus 1, so plus 9. Okay, so that's our f of g of x, that first piece. Up in the second piece, I want f of g of 2, so actually I want to take this same equation and I want to just evaluate it at 2. So 2 to the 4th minus 2 times 2 cubed plus 8 times 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 9. And then I'm just going to type that in a calculator, and then that would be the second piece. Okay, I got a chance to look at my work, and I just caught a mistake. So I'm going to put it in blue so we can catch this. So right up here, I distributed that in with all three of those. So I got 2x squared, which I forgot the squared. That's not really my huge mistake. I should have a minus 2x there instead of a minus x. And the plus 4 I got right. Well, that's going to make that a 4, and that's going to make when I combine like terms, that'll make that a 7. So it'll be really minus 7 times 2. Okay, so there's a mistake there that I just caught. And then when you evaluated it, you should end up getting 27. And I honestly typed it in a calculator. So there you go.